Well, a very good morning to you, Leanne. Well, yesterday we saw a less than composed Oscar Pistorius for the first time breaking down inside court when details emerged of the impact of the gunshots on that fateful Valentine's morning when Oscar Pistorius shot and killed Reeva Steenkamp in the bathroom of his Pretoria home. So basically the first time we're seeing Oscar Pistorius as those details are relived inside the court as the details emerge. Now what you would know, Leanne, is that very strategically, as we've heard from criminal law experts, that the people who are being called so far are people who live within close proximity to Oscar Pistorius's residence. You would know that Michelle Berger, who lives at the nearby Silverstream estate, was the first person to be called, and yesterday we also saw the first person to be called as well, Estelle van der Merwe, who lives about 50 to 100 meters from Oscar Pistorius's residence inside the Silverwoods estate. So really, because there aren't any witnesses to the incident itself happening, what we're hearing here is that witnesses are being called from around Oscar Pistorius's house to the complexes or estates around Oscar Pistorius's for people who have actually heard what was taking place. But to give us a bit more insight now, I'm going to talk to Rudolf Zinn, who is a lecturer at the University of South Africa in policing and forensics. Mr. Zinn, thank you very much for joining us this morning. I'm particularly interested, and very interestingly, on the first day of this trial, that the defense mentioned that it planned to bring experts who were going to testify that the crime scene had been contaminated, and not just contaminated, had been changed. How critical is that in this case right now?
I think it's very critical. He also made the allegation that the crime scene has been tampered with, and that's going to lead then into whether the evidence that is collected at the crime scene or was collected at the crime scene will be admissible as evidence in court. And that's going to be the deciding factor as far as the maintaining the continuity of possession is concerned.
Now this will go back, of course, also to the testimony of Hilton Botha, the original chief investigator, who conceded during the bail application that he did not wear the correct shoe protection.
That's correct, but nothing else has been stated as far as the contamination is concerned. And I think additional allegations will be made, and it will most likely include then the crucial evidence, which would be the ballistics and also then the sound that was heard at the crime scene.
You are also within the South African Police Service for 8 years. Very crucially, I'm trying to understand within the South African Police Service if there is actually a prescribed procedure at a crime scene for police.
There is a standing operating procedure which was issued in 2005, and it deals with the processing of the crime scene and exactly how the first responding officers should have dealt with the crime scene.
In this case, do you think that they followed proper procedure?
There seems to be problems with it. As far as I understand from media reports, the initial handling of the crime scene seems to be questioned, but the further investigation that took place at the later stage seems to be sound.
Rudolf Zinn there, who is a lecturer at the University of South Africa in policing and forensics, giving us some details about some of the issues that will come under scrutiny here in this case, also regarding the crime scene and whether it was contaminated and also whether it had been changed. As we heard that the defense on the first day of the trial had indicated they will bring experts to try and prove that indeed that was the case. Let me hand back to you in studio, Leanne.